Whitney Rose has never been afraid to expose the deepest corners of her life. But what she just shared about her marriage to Justin Rose might be her most vulnerable moment yet. From the glamorous chaos of Salt Lake City to the quiet storms inside their home, Whitney has built a reputation for being brutally honest, unfiltered, and willing to show the world everything, no matter how uncomfortable it gets. And now, fans are watching a brand new chapter unfold, one filled with crisis, renewal, and a stunning anniversary confession that reveals more than anyone expected. Before we dive into the full story, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss these deep dive breakdowns into your favorite Bravo stars. For years, viewers of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City have seen Whitney and Justin weather everything from career setbacks to painful emotional confrontations. Married since 2009, parents to their two children, 15-year-old Bobby and 12-year-old Brooks, the Roses became one of Bravo's most talked-about couples. Not because they were the most dramatic, but because they were the most real. They allowed cameras into the raw moments that most couples hide. The tense conversations, the resentment, the complicated balance between career, parenting, and personal dreams. And yet, even with all the struggles shown on TV, nothing prepared fans for Whitney's recent 16th anniversary tribute, a message so personal, so symbolically loaded, it left Bravo viewers buzzing. On November 22nd, Whitney posted a series of intimate, carefully curated photos of her and Justin on Instagram. But it was her caption that sent fans spiraling. She revealed that she discovered the traditional 16-year anniversary gift was wax. Yes, wax. At first, she admitted she thought it was strange, even laughable. But then something clicked. The symbolism of wax, its warmth, its flexibility, its ability to be reshaped over time hit her like a revelation. She wrote that the meaning resonated with everything she and Justin had endured, how they had molded their lives together through every challenge, every mistake, every moment of love and frustration. Whitney explained that wax represents the warmth a couple needs to soften through conflict, and the flexibility required to reshape their bond as life throws unpredictable storms in their direction. And if any Bravo couple has reshaped themselves in front of a camera, it's these two. But this loving, poetic message arrives in the middle of one of the hardest seasons Whitney has ever faced. Season 6 of RHOSLC is showing her at a breaking point, a woman trying to rebuild her business after a painful financial downfall, all while carrying resentment toward a husband she felt didn't support her when she needed him most. Fans saw her emotional confession. She felt alone, overwhelmed, and disappointed. And Justin, sitting across from her, forced to hear the kind of truth that cuts deep. That raw conversation became one of the most impactful scenes of the season. Whitney cried, Justin listened, and for once, cameras captured not just drama, but a relationship fighting to survive the quiet weight of real-life pressure. Their financial troubles weren't just a storyline. They were a lived-in reality stretching into their private world. Whitney's business failure shook her confidence, left her questioning her choices, and created a distance in their marriage that neither knew how to bridge. Justin, once her biggest cheerleader, became someone she silently resented. The emotional disconnect grew, and viewers wondered, was this the beginning of the end? Yet somehow, despite everything, despite stress, resentment, exhaustion, the couple found a way back to each other. And Whitney's wax-themed tribute wasn't just an anniversary message. It was a public declaration that they're still choosing each other, still reshaping their marriage, still learning how to bend without breaking. And the reactions from fellow Bravo Liberties proved just how powerful that message was. Comments flooded in. Support, love, encouragement. Everyone rooting for the Roses to keep fighting, to keep molding their life together, just like the wax that symbolized their 16 years. But here's where the story takes a deeper turn, one that fans didn't see coming. Because behind the sweet Instagram post and the supportive comments lies a much bigger question. What's really happening between Whitney and Justin when the cameras aren't around? How do they navigate the pressure of fame, financial setbacks, and a marriage that has already faced intense public scrutiny? And is this anniversary tribute truly a sign of healing, or a message meant to mask the struggles that are still unfolding? Behind the polished Instagram photos and the heartfelt symbolism of wax, there is an emotional weight Whitney and Justin have been carrying for far longer than fans realize. Their anniversary post may have been beautiful, but the truth behind it is far more complex. Because a marriage that has been tested publicly doesn't just heal overnight, it rebuilds itself slowly, silently, and often in ways no camera can capture. Whitney's life has transformed dramatically since joining the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Fame didn't just bring opportunities, it brought pressure, judgment, scrutiny. Suddenly, every decision she made, not just as a businesswoman, but as a wife and mother, became content for millions to analyze. And no matter how strong a couple is, that kind of spotlight can create fractures. Justin, who once stood proudly beside her during the launch of Wild Rose Beauty, found himself pulled into the whirlwind only partially by choice. He didn't sign up to be a full-time reality star, but he became one anyway, because the show asked for access to their real lives, not a polished version. And when Whitney's business started to collapse, the cracks between them widened. Cameras caught glimpses of the tension, but they didn't capture the long nights behind closed doors. The conversations that led nowhere. The frustrated silence. The exhaustion of trying to keep a marriage steady while the rest of your world collapses in slow motion. Whitney later admitted she felt alone during the darkest moments of her business failure. She expected Justin to step in, to anchor her, to fight beside her. Instead, she felt unsupported, unheard, and ultimately let down. Resentment grew, and once resentment appears in a marriage, it spreads quietly like smoke, clouding everything. That's why their recent anniversary tribute felt so emotional. It wasn't just a celebration of 16 years. It was a declaration that they survived something that could have easily broken them. But what fans didn't know was that this season's storyline wasn't even the hardest part. As the financial strain intensified, Justin faced his own internal battles. He watched his wife's dreams falter. He felt the weight of expectations. He questioned whether he had done enough, whether he had failed her. And the guilt stayed with him. That guilt, paired with Whitney's resentment, created an emotional distance that made their home feel less like a sanctuary and more like a pressure chamber. So when the cameras captured their tearful sit-down, that wasn't a scene staged for reality TV. That was two people reaching the point where silence was no longer an option. Whitney's tears weren't for drama, they were for relief, because she had finally said the words she had been carrying alone. And Justin's reaction wasn't defensive. It was reflective, haunted even, because he realized the depth of her hurt. But here's what surprised everyone. Instead of fracturing them, that moment became the catalyst for change. Whitney opened up. Justin listened, really listened. And the version of them that fans saw on Instagram during their anniversary wasn't fake optimism. It was two people trying again. Two people choosing to rebuild instead of walk away. Two people softening and reshaping, exactly like the wax she wrote about. And maybe that's why fans connected so deeply to her message. Because in a Bravo universe filled with explosive fights, shifting friendships, and constant drama, it's about survival. About a marriage that bends, cracks, and sometimes nearly collapses, but still holds on through the chaos. What makes this anniversary post so fascinating is the timing. Posting it while the show airs their marital struggles wasn't accidental. It was intentional. Whitney wanted viewers to know that what they're watching was real, but it wasn't the end. It was the middle of their story. A chapter of hurt, not the final page. And this anniversary milestone was her way of saying, we're still here. We're still trying. We're still choosing each other, even when it's hard. But the real twist is what happens next. Season 6 may show their struggles, but the off-camera reality holds an even more powerful shift, one that fans don't yet know about. Their marriage didn't just improve. Their dynamic changed. Their communication evolved. And Whitney, for the first time in a long time, started to feel like she wasn't fighting alone. Still, the question lingers. How long can this renewed strength last under the pressure of reality TV, financial rebuilding, and the eyes of millions watching every move? Can a marriage truly heal when every flaw becomes content?